Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new Last of Us spoiler review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinnenberg. Today, I am breaking down Season 2, Episode 6, the penultimate episode of Season 2 called The Price. Welcome back to Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinnenberg. If you guys are new to the channel, I do movie and TV show reviews every single day, as well as other movie franchise ranking videos, box office breakdown shows every Tuesday, as well as other movie out of theater reactions. So if you're new to the channel, guys, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell if you're new. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on Season 2, Episode 6 of Last of Us? Was this great? Was this disappointing? Are you off the boat, on the boat? Let me know your thoughts. I love discussing everything with you guys in the comment section down below. So please, because I respond to every single comment. And guys, also please hit that thumbs up button, down below. Helps YouTube recommend my videos to more people. So if you're new to the channel, I am someone who has played The Last of Us video games multiple times, watched the cutscenes multiple times. This is one of the IPs that are one of my favorites in my lifetime. So the first, I would say 95% of my reviews are the TV show spoiler part where I don't hint at what's coming up next and don't spoil upcoming events for Last of Us. I would say the last 2 to 3 minutes of all my reviews for Last of Us are basically giving video game spoilers, talking to people who have played the video game, and talking about what's coming next. So again, 99% of this review will be in TV show spoilers where I won't spoil upcoming parts of the game. But the last, I would say, minute or two, I'll wave my hands when I'm doing video game spoilers. So I gotta be honest, right out of the gate, just give my general thoughts. This is one of the best episodes of television in a really long time, at least in my opinion. This isn't just the best episode of Season 2, it is the best episode, period, of The Last of Us. And as someone who played the video game, one of the best parts about the video game, second part, is getting these flashback scenes with Joel. Now, it hits very differently in the show because, again, this is not a spoiler, but in the video game, you get these Joel flashback scenes kind of spurted in and out of the story where we're doing something, then we cut to a flashback. We're back to the original story, then we're going back to a flashback. They combine all these flashback scenes in the video game into one episode, and I thought that was a really smart job. Now, Neil Druckmann, who created the video game, he is the director of this episode, the only episode he directed this season, as he was also credited as one of the 3 screenwriters for this episode. And you can tell why it was important for Druckmann to be adapting this episode in particular, because especially there are 2 or 3 of the most important scenes that are shot for shot, word for word, directly from the video game. And hearing Neil talk about it, hearing Druckmann talk about it after the show, and Mason to how important it was for these things to be adapted exactly like the video game. And what a cool feeling it was for Druckmann to be able to get a chance to do it himself and direct this episode was very special. So this was the Joel and Ellie flashback scenes, and they give you context for why the relationship was in such a rough place before Joel, we thought right before Joel died. So we get this opening scene, which is not in the game, which is a flashback scene, not just to Joel, but teenage Joel and Tommy. And the fact that they get abused violently by their, violence from their father, who's played wonderfully here by Tony Dalton, who was a perfect casting as someone who could be Pedro Pascal's dad. Really smart casting there. And he talks about, Joel's about to take a whole beating, even lying to his dad that it was him, not Tommy, who did something wrong. He'll take the beating for Tommy, protecting his younger brother. And instead of just beating his son, his dad sits down and says, I don't really understand all the things on why I do things, but hopefully when you have a kid, you can just do a little bit better than me. And I thought it was a really great opener to the episode. Now, each of these flashback scenes are set on all of Ellie's birthdays, except obviously the dance scene towards the end of the episode. But these are all birthdays for Ellie. So the first birthday, he swaps out Legos with Seth to get a cake. And then he plays the song that Ellie was about to sing from Pearl Jam last week. Now, I did say they were hinting at that That was an important thing for you to know, and that now Joel is the one who taught her that song, and he used the moth drawings that that Ellie used to make the guitar. It was a really cool scene having Joel make the guitar for her. Um, and it's just about showing the ups and the downs of really parenthood, parent-children relationships, and why it's so hard for parents to let their kids go on their own and be their own person. And the idea of savoring every moment when your kid is in that position. It was extremely moving stuff. Now we get to the big part of the game, which was the museum. They do the T-Rex scene, which was so cool. And the fact that after the show thing and Druckmann got a chance to get on the dinosaur and how emotional he was, how closely they recreated it to the game was really cool. But we get the coolest part of the episode, which is when they're about to go on this capsule, and just like in the game, Joel gives Ellie this cassette tape of people going up into space, and for her to imagine it. It's directed like she's actually in her perspective, visualizing herself going in space. And just like the game, it is unbelievably directed by Druckmann, and the choreography work of the lighting and the effects and the shakiness of the ship. It is so well done. And it's one of my favorite scenes of Last of Us Part 2, and they did it perfectly here in the show. So as we move on throughout this episode, Ellie is starting to pick up that Joel's kind of not letting her do her thing. She's getting her tattoo. She got her, she was trying to burn her bite mark because she wanted to at least wear short sleeves so she's not hiding her bite from people anymore. And obviously that would show that she's immune. But now she's getting a tattoo over it, and she's sleeping with a girl. And Joel talks about that her sleeping with the girl is just her experimenting. And I'm gonna leave, and when I come back, you better become the real Ellie. That you trying things out. This is not the real you. And I felt again, Joel's a great character and a good person. He makes a lot of mistakes, and I thought that was a really not a nice thing to say, that the fact that she would be even sleeping with a woman means that she's experimenting and that's not really who Ellie is. And she's just going through a phase, and that phase included sleeping with a girl that's not really who she should be. And I thought that was actually a pretty hurtful scene. And you understood why Ellie would want to move out of the house and go to the garage in the middle of the night while it's downpouring. And Joel says, let's just, I'll set this whole up thing for you. I totally understand that you need your own space. And we get a big part of the trust issues, which is so Joel is finally taking Ellie out on her first patrol, but they're going on a very safe space. Then he gets called in to a dangerous situation, and this is where we find out what happened to Eugene, who's played by Joey Pants himself, Joe Pantoliano. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Love Joey Pants. And he is bit. Obviously, it's a bad thing, but Eugene says, I totally understand that you have to kill me, but I have at least an hour left. I just want to see Gail one more time, let her tell me something, and then I'm good to die. But Joel says, that's not the rules. I have to kill you now. And that's when Ellie takes over the situation, says, hold out your hand so you're not to show if he's shaking or not, and count to 10 clearly. And he clearly has at least an hour, if not more, before he's going to turn into a clicker or something like that. And Ellie says, I'm going to go grab the horses, and we're going to bring, Eugene to Gail, who's played by Catherine O'Hara. And that's when Joel makes a big mistake, which is he gives her the same look that he gave her when he told the lie at what happened in Salt Lake City, when he got her out of the hospital. And he gives her the same look and says, I promise that, we're going to bring Eugene back. And that's when when Ellie's going to get the horses, he takes Eugene to this one spot and he says, you can't kill me. I have to. It's not about me talking to Gail, it's about me seeing her and letting her say the last words. The last words I want to hear in my life and the last person I want to see in my life is Gail. And Joey Pants does such an amazing job acting in this scene. And this is where we get, Joel basically saying, just close your eyes and imagine her. And Joel does kill Eugene. And that was probably, I got to be honest, a complete douchebag move. Clearly, he was okay enough to bring back just to see Gale not go into Jackson and at least see Gale for the last time. Joel definitely didn't have to kill him right there. So they bring, and Ellie's not happy about this. And that's when they're leaving, Ellie looks at a tree, but there's fireflies around it. She's kind of putting one and one together. That Joel has really been lying to her for a very long time. And that is where they go back to Jackson with the body, the same way Ellie brings Joel's body back in episode 2. And Gale's emotional. And Joel tells an absolute BS story, trying to nobilize Eugene in such a way. And it's probably what Gale wants to hear, but at this point, that's the only thing that she can think about. And Ellie just rips off the Band-Aid and says, that's actually not what happened. Eugene actually begged to come back here and to see you one more time, but Joel shot him in the head when I was leaving, and she ends on, you swore. And this is a big rift in their relationship because now they're not really seeing each other that much. And then they go to the dance scene, and that is where, Joel shoves Seth. Ellie embarrasses him in front of everyone. We go to the porch scene, and if you play the game, you knew that Ellie was going to turn back and have this conversation with Joel. And this is one of the most well-acted scenes I have ever seen in a TV show. Most of it is word for word from the video game. Now, I do want to say, again, this is not a spoiler for upcoming events. Ellie finds out about what happened in Salt Lake City at the hospital years before the events of the present time show when Joel dies. Like, she kind of sits on that for a very long time. Then has this conversation on the porch the day before Joel dies. They combine those two big scenes into the porch scene here. And it is a very emotional scene where, they're talking about the coffee, and then they're talking about Dina. And then Ellie says, to Joel, you got to tell me the truth about what happened in the hospital. And if you lie to me again, you'll never see me again type thing. And Joel says there's no Raiders. There was, I killed everyone. And was there a cure? Yes. And then that's when Ellie, and I'm getting choked up talking about it now. I guess since I played the game, since I've cried this much with The Last of Us, because I really did cry last night after during this scene. And Ellie is talking about how that he took away the fact that she was going to die, because he's like, you would have died for the cure. And she says that you don't have that right. My life would have mattered. And basically he doomed society over her. And that's when he said, it's because I love you so much. And you will not understand, I guess, how much that I love you, which is different from the game, but I really liked that they added it here. And Joel basically at this point just could not lose another kid. And even if this conversation would make him never talk to Ellie again, he has to start telling her the truth. He cannot keep BSing Ellie. And that's when Ellie says, I'm not sure I can ever forgive you for this, but I would like to try to start to forgive you. And that, it breaks me every single time I watched that scene in the video game, and it broke me, really made me cry a lot last night watching the episode. And it's the ever more heartbreaking because this is the last time Ellie sees Joel. And the fact that right before Joel heads off of Dina and Ellie heads off of Jesse, they were back on they were going to try to build up their relationship back again. The fact that got stripped away from her gives you all this rage for Ellie to get revenge on Abby. I know a lot of people are saying, well, this is why the show hasn't been good. This is a great episode. Yes. Does it have Joel as one of the lead characters in the episode? It does. And does having Joel in the game or the show make it better? Of course it does. But I do believe that this will make the show even stronger moving forward. It did seem in the after credits that this was clearly Pedro's last time shooting stuff for the show. So as I said, they did combine all the flashback scenes from the video game into here. So I'm not saying they could have him come back in next season, do some flashback scenes, but it doesn't really seem like that's going to happen. But it was an extremely moving episode, authentic representation of parenting, of childhood, of those relationships, when to lie to your loved ones, when not to. how to build up relationships when they seem so broken. Um, really, really amazing stuff. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, these were the best two performances they have given on the show. Spectacular performances. And I've been the one who I love Bella Ramsey in the show. I just have found them to be a bit off in the last couple of episodes as adult version of Ellie. But Bella really delivers in this episode. They are terrific in the episode. And Pedro, with the crying, he is such an amazing actor. And this probably is the best hour of acting I've ever seen him do. Really incredible stuff. And it gives you that fuel to want to get revenge on Abby next week. So incredible episode, once in a lifetime type TV episode. So, but I'm now going to get into video game spoilers because I want to talk about where I think they're going to end things next week in the finale. So if you've not played the video game, this is your time to step away. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and come back next Monday, guys, because I will be giving my spoiler review for the season 2 finale of Last of Us. But if you played the video game, stay here. So one more time, guys, video game spoilers for Last of Us starting right now. So this episode ends with her going back to the auditorium. So I think next week will end, as I've been predicting all season, at the big cliffhanger. So I feel like next week it will be the full-on day 3 in Seattle, where Ellie is going to go after, she goes to we see her in the water, she goes after, she interacts with the wolves and the scars, and she ultimately goes to the not the auditorium, what do you call it? The aquarium, kills Mel, the dog, and Owen, realizes that Mel is pregnant, leaves her map at the auditorium. Obviously, she splits off of Jesse during this, where Tommy is lost, and Jesse wants to find Tommy, and Ellie just wants revenge for Abby. But after this, they come back to the auditorium. Jesse, Ellie, and Tommy have a discussion about how they're going to go back to Jackson. And Ellie seems like she's moved on from the fact of getting revenge on Abby after basically killing a pregnant person, after realizing that obviously that's similar to her situation with Dina. And then Abby, after leaving her map by accident at the aquarium, Abby comes up, kills Jesse, as a confrontation with Tommy. And I think next season will be the first 3 episodes, 3 or 4 episodes will be all Abby centered. And then the last couple episodes will be the wrap up in Santa Barbara. Now, they've been talking about how this might go to a season 4. I don't know how they can drag this second part of the video game to 2 more seasons. Because they're ending things with Ellie's full 3 days in Seattle in this season, it makes sense that we'll get Abby's 3 days next season, as well as the Santa Barbara stuff next season, and that will be the show. So I think we're going to head into season 3 being the last season. I could be wrong, but what are your thoughts, guys? I'm loving this episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys soon.